Hello everyone, this is a quick update for Mark 1 Golf. This is the wiper motor and assembly. So on my Mark 1 Golf, when I go into slow speed, medium speed or really fast speed for the wipers, they still seem to wipe across the windscreen at nearly the same speed, and it's just not fast enough if it's raining quite hard and you're on a motorway or something like that. So real quick, on the Mark 1 Golf it's supported here, and this is where the wipers, the actual arms that the wipers attach to, and this one here. So this is a little step, if you can see it just there. Wait for focus. Yeah, there we go. Look, see the step there? And on a Mark 3 Golf, so this is one here. Yeah, you can see there's 1 and 2, that's either side where the wipers are attached to. And this here, there's no step. So it's actually built into the frame lower down. So if you can see that, see it's all part of the assembly, where on the Mark 1 Golf it's not, it's actually part of the motor housing. So what I did was, you get a drill and you drill out all the rivets that are there. Just drill them out, then gently with a screwdriver or chisel, just chisel in there, and you can, there's a little line there, and there's a little tiny gasket just in there, so just be careful when you're taking it apart. Then these two wires here, it's really easy. So it's the green and the red. Don't cut the red wire, but you do actually. So anything that's going to the motor, you cut it, and it's the same on this one. You can see this is one I actually modified. So I cut that and cut that, and this is you take off the frame, this piece here, and you just swap the two of them onto this one here. So you end up with a Mark 3 with the Mark 1 outside frame on it. So there's a few different ways to do it. You can either disassemble the whole motor on the Mark 3 and swap it across. Do what I did, and you can see this one here I just modified. This is actually a Mark 1 on a Mark 3 because I didn't want to have dirt sitting in it, so I just drill down straight through it afterwards, followed the drill bit all the way down, and then just put in pot rivets. And I will show you the finished product. So this is the Mark 1 Golf motor. So it's a 96 Golf, and you can see this I will turn it around here. So on this one here, this is where the whole plate came off. Cut the two wires, put them down as this. There's this little one just here, I think. You just have to cut that off. And I don't know if you're able to see it, but it's way in there. You can just see the end of the little circle, just where my fingernail is, because it just doesn't sit into the housing just tight enough. It's a little bit proud, so you just cut that one off. There's actually two holes here. That's a spare one. That hole there is actually that hole there. See, there's two in each of them. So when you get your plate down, you decide which one you want to go to. It doesn't really matter which one. And I just drilled all the way through, put in a pot rivet, and squeezed there, and a third one just there. And I also made that my earthing point as well. So there's actually a negative that you have to ground. So I just did that. You can just, if I was doing it again, I'd probably just not put a pot rivet in there and just put a nut and bolt, so I know that's nice and tight. I'm going to put a little bit of solder there and make sure that's really tight, because if it became loose, your motor would just stop working altogether. And then just join the two wires, so it's green to green. So that's Mark 3 Golf, and you cut it, and that's Mark 1 Golf, and you just join those two together. And same with the red. Join the red from the Mark 3 Golf onto the Mark 1 Golf loom. And the nice thing about this is, I know it's floating a bit, but it means you don't have to do any modifications after that, because the original plug from the Mark 1 will now sit onto this. So you should say that those two should go like that, but they don't. It actually turns 180 degrees. It does bolt up, so you have this at the bottom. So now this is also at the bottom, and the step is in the same direction. So it steps down. This one here steps down and out. And when you flip this around, when you bolt it all together, the motor will be on the other side, but it makes no overall difference because the motor will still stop in the same place. So what I did was I actually took this off just to do the video. So on this one, there's your connection this side, and the loom actually isn't long enough. So what I do is just bend it back like that, and just connect into it, and it'll just float. It won't be attached to anything, but it doesn't matter because underneath the rain tray, the motor is so hidden, so far up, it won't get wet, it won't get damaged, and it doesn't shake or anything, so it's grand. And this is a really neat way to keep all the wires, everything looking original, but it's a Mark III Golf. It means that the wiper blade should actually go quite quickly now and be able to clean the window. So that's the mod. It doesn't take that long. The longest amount of time is actually just drilling these out, and it's this bit here is steel, but underneath it's aluminium, so it actually the drill bit will fly through it. And it doesn't matter if the motor's on either side. It makes no overall difference. So what I do is I plug that into the Mark I Golf and turn it on. And the little brushes in here will tell the motor where to stop. So it'll do a few rotations and then just stop. And now you know that you have everything lined up. And what I did was, not on this one, but on my other assembly, I got a screwdriver and just marked where this little bar stops. This is the bar that, or I did actually on this side. It just marked where it stops along here. So this one it'd be like that. But on your one it could be in any position. I just marked it just gently. So when you pull it off and you got to put this one back on, you know to put this back in the right place. But first of all, plug that in with nothing attached here, just so this recenters itself to the right position to stop, and then put it all back together. And it's a real handy, neat mod. And talking to a few people, they said that did this before and said this should be the first mod you should do to a Mark I Golf. I have searched all the usual forums that do Volkswagen, Vortex and VAG drivers and Autostad and anything like that. And since Photobucket have stopped releasing their photographs for free or hosting pictures for free, I couldn't find anything, and I couldn't find any how-tos on YouTube. So this is why I'm doing this. I know people have done other ones, so you take just the Mark III Golf motor, you leave the gearbox from the Mark I, so that means you don't have to separate all here. You just undo, there's a nut just there, and I think there's one on the far side, yeah, in there. And you're somehow able to swap the motors from one to the other, but you leave the gearbox alone. So that's one way of doing it. The way I did it, which is just take a drill all the way through, pop rivet them in, and use, that's the Mark I, and everything else is Mark III. And I've seen other people that did it even faster. They said 20 minutes should do the whole thing. They used the Mark III motor without this assembly. They get a piece of aluminium and they just bend it with that step in it. And I think they just drill it on or weld it on, or they do something to attach it. Probably if they're doing aluminium, they're just going to pop rivet it on. And if they're doing it out of steel, they just put a few tacks of weld onto it. And that's it. So there's three ways of doing it. And this way I thought it looks real. It's the closest to OEM that I can make it, but still being a Mark III Golf motor. And so I said I'd put up this video of just how to do it real quick. And so there's a real quick close-up of the pop rivets. So just drill all the way through, put one there, and the last one I had to eyeball it just where, because none of these holes actually line up with another hole. So just drill all the way through, and the earth that's there as well, I drilled it the same diameter and just put the pop rivet through everything and just gave it a decent squeeze down. So see, there is no holes there originally. And so this is just a real quick video of just how to do it. Okay, so now I have the motor finally installed in the Mark I Golf. So that's the Mark III Viper motor. So it's quite dark and light at night, so I have a torch, that's why the light's a bit crap. So just here, so you can see where it comes up, I had to just cut off that little, just a tiny little section. It's only maybe 4 or 5 mil wide, and you just come across and just slice it off as best you can. I got a mini angle grinder in there, and it fits perfectly between the wall just here and this piece here. You just slice it down and just cut it off clean. And yeah, I had to take a few attempts just at it, I didn't know how much to cut off. But there it is, all mounted, and I have the cable all wired up, and I don't have the actual arm on it yet, but I've marked, that's the silver little marking, where we gone? Just there, you can see it. So that's where this arm here, where you gone? Yeah. So that's gonna sit up there on top of that. So I'm just going to turn it on and check that the motor works and everything, and get everything to line up. Okay, moment of truth. So I have the nut all tightened up. It's down there anyway. It's right there behind this, so you can't really see it. It's just in there. Anyway, moment of truth. Better turn on the wipers, and we'll see how well this works. Oh, riveting stuff watching wipers on YouTube. Right, so that's the motor for the fuel pump just running. Ignore that. This is the wipers. And I can tell you, they are way faster. If they should be, I think they're about double the speed. Definitely double the speed. Brilliant. So that's a win.